Okay, hi guys, welcome back to another Trio Trash video. This one is a little interesting. If you don't feel comfortable watching this video, that's completely fine. We understand. But there's been a little bit of drama going around lately about public fursuits that have done the dirty, like going to conventions and fur meets and stuff, so we want to put our word into that.
But we first would like to say we do not have any side. We're not picking any sides. We are just expressing what we have seen and maybe a little bit of how we feel things might should be going instead of how they are.
Yeah, we're not at any side, so don't we love everybody, so don't feel weird or anything or bad.
Alright, so like we were saying, this debate is that should Murrsuits be allowed to be worn at cons, but obviously they'd be covering, usually they cover, I'm assuming?
I mean, usually they cover either with underwear or pants or something, or they just have a zipper where the crotchular region is.
So basically there wouldn't be anything phallic showing, but they would still wear these suits to cons, so it's that idea should this be allowed, or should they check and ban for this kind of stuff? So what we were saying, we're kind of staying neutral on this. Now, for cons, and especially the furry fandom, we are very open and accepting, and the sexual side gets us a bad rep. But should we really be telling these people, no, you're not allowed, stay out, are we really gonna shun people out? Now, I feel if they're wearing pants and they're covering it, that's okay, but there's only to an extent. I think I'd be a little weirded out if I knew, because that's been doing the deed and
Yeah, one of the it's not okay. Murrsuit is probably is obviously strange to a lot of people, but it's if they're into it, they're into it. You can't really blame them. There's a bunch of things people are into in that way, whatever. I mean, just look it up online if you're curious. Unless you're under 18, don't do that then. But and we're not dissing any people that Murrsuit. I mean, it's just a little. I mean, I could see parents could be a little concerned, especially if they saw their their zippers or whatever. And I know a lot of them choose to wear underwear to cover it up, or maybe pants. I mean, I think parents would probably prefer the pants just because it's a little a lot of suitors wear pants regardless, but
Okay, so yeah, I mean there's I guess there's a moral aspect to it. Not I know the argument is if the suit is completely washed, oh that's 100% okay. I do tend to lean towards that, it's okay if it's 100% washed and it's cleaned up. I know there's other people say well that's still morally weird, you should know that hugging children or whatever, or meeting other people in a suit that you done the deed in is that should make you feel guilty. I could see where that's coming from, and I totally understand that. But it's you have to think about it. If you do the horizontal naked dance in a shirt, and then you wash that shirt, and then you go the next day in public with that shirt, you don't feel weird about it, and you don't feel oh, I'm so guilty I'm wearing this shirt, but it's completely washed. I think it's pretty much the same thing with a Murrsuit or just a fursuit that you do the dirty, and I think it should be I think it's fine.
But then yeah, back to the idea of hugging children. I think that's where it kind of blurs the line. It gets more uncomfortable, especially with something as mature as the sideways dance. I think that's the kind of thing that you want to stay away from kids. I think if they can respect and maybe keep a little more clear of children, or maybe I wouldn't probably be letting people know that's what you're going on, because I know that's really judged against. But just think of that if you are yourself a Murrsuiter, understand that if they did find out, how do you think they're gonna feel? I know that sounds sort of horrible in a sense, you should have to worry about what you do affecting others in such a way that they're oh my god, but you gotta understand at the times that it is right now, it's a big deal to people, and you just gotta keep it.
And I guess lastly, and if it's like such a big problem, I mean like if you want to do the deed, like that's fine. But if you really want to avoid all this, and I know it's a big money expense, but just I guess you would get a separate like body that doesn't have any of the accessories.
Or even just wearing your suit as a partial, you know, that I know you spent all your money on your suit or whatever, but just understand, like, there's other people too that you should be concerned about. And yeah, obviously, even if you bought the suit, you obviously had other intentions than just wearing it around like normal anyways, so as long as you're still using it, you're still making your money worthwhile, you know?
That's true.
Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Sorry if it made you uncomfortable, if you decided to stay.
Congratulations if you made it to the end. We know we ramble a lot and our videos are horribly structured because they're not structured at all. Please leave your opinions in the comments below, but please don't be rude if someone does say something that you aren't for. Just be respectful. You know, we are a community. We are in this together, and this is just something that's really been affecting us lately. So, you know, let's be nice.
Let's be nice.
Yay, niceness.
Like
yeah.
that.
Whoa.
I love everybody.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next video. I hope you stick around and you don't leave us because of this.
Don't leave us, please. We're desperate.
All right. Goodbye.
Ooh, cha.